Welcome to lecture number 28 for ECE 211 Circuits 1. In this lecture, we're going to continue our discussion of phasors, only now dealing with phasors and op amps. Now, op amp circuits are circuits we've looked at before. Op amps are just generally useful devices. They're used for amplifiers, inverters, summing amplifiers, inverting amplifiers, envelope detectors, filters. A large part of electronics is built around op amps. Now, previously we looked at op amp circuits at DC. At DC, there's kind of two approaches to analyze an op amp circuit. You can write the voltage node equations, come up with n equations and unknowns, and usually one of the equations is that V plus equals V minus for an op amp. Again, for an op amp, you've got this symbol. There's a plus input, a minus input. It's a high gain amplifier. If the output is finite, say 2 volts, the output is some gain, large gain, times V plus minus V minus. If K is large and the output is finite, then these have to be very, very small, on the order of like a microvolt. In an ideal op amp, the difference is 0. So one of the equations is that V plus equals V minus, and then write your n equations and unknowns, including that one. That's one way to do it. A second way to do it is figure it out. Constrain V plus equals V minus and figure what voltages have to be to force the currents to balance. Well, that's what we did at DC. And surprise, surprise, that also works for AC circuits, meaning using phasors. So in this lecture, we're going to look at trying to solve an op amp circuit using voltage nodes, trying to figure it out, and finally, using Circuit Lab to check your answer. Let's start with one of the simplest op amp circuits. This is a low-pass filter. Suppose my input is 3 sine 50t, so x is 0 minus j3. Real part's cosine minus j is sine. Resistors stay the same. Capacitor becomes 1 over j omega c. Here's omega. There's C, plug it in, I get minus J 200,000. Find the voltage at Y. Well, one approach is write the node equations. For the node equations, I've got 3 nodes, 1 node, 2 nodes, 3 nodes. I know that V plus equals 0. I know V minus equals V plus, and, well, actually that's the node equation at Y. I would like to write the node equation at Y, but I can't because I have no idea what this current is. In addition, I can't because I already wrote it. The node equation at the output is V plus equals V minus. The third equation is the currents at V minus must add to 0. So current left plus that current right, and the current right equals 0. So V minus minus x over 10k plus V minus minus y over 100k plus V minus minus y over minus j 200k equals 0. 3 equations, 3 unknowns, solve. So doing that, I'll substitute in for x, V plus equals 0, so V minus equals 0. I get 1 equation, 1 unknown, solve for y. And here's the answer in phasor form. Here's the answer in time form. That's one way to do it, voltage nodes. Another way to do it is try to figure it out. So again, if this is 0 volts, this is 0. The current Ix is just x over 10k. That has to be current going up as well. Concentration current is current in equals current out. Well, I've got 10k going between this impedance. Put these in parallel. And I get parallel impedance is 80k minus j40k. Voltage is I times R. So the output is actually going to be minus, since this is 0, minus I times R gives you 12 plus j24. Third way is this is an inverting amplifier, one we looked at before. Call that Z1, call that Z2. I know the gain is minus Z1 over Z2. Times the input. So put this in parallel, take that divided by 10k times x, I'll get the same answer, 12 plus j24. Any of those work. If I want to check in Circuit Lab, just build the circuit in Circuit Lab, apply a sine wave. Again, kind of note, Circuit Lab uses hertz. This is in radians per second, so 50 radians per second divided by 2 pi is 7.958 hertz. Here's my sine wave. Apply it, measure the voltage at y. So here is x in blue, this is y. The peak shows up easier. In polar form, the peak is 26 volts. Simulated in Circuit Lab, it is 26.83 volts. That matches up. And there's a phase shift, that's the angle. There's a 63 degree phase shift. That's your delay. I usually ignore the phase shift. It is there. Magnitude's easier to see. Okay, so that's one example. Let's try it again for a more complicated circuit. Here is another op amp circuit. This is actually a second order low pass filter. Something we'll talk about later. For now, we just treat that as an op amp circuit. Find the voltages V1, Vp, V minus, Y. Given that x is 3 sine 50t. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voltages. I need 5 equations for 5 unknowns. Easy one, x equals 0 minus j3, that's one equation. I know v plus equals v minus, that's 2 equations. Come up with the phasor representation of everything. Omega is 50.1 microfarad. This becomes minus j200k, minus j200k. I've got 2 equations. I need 3 more. At this node, the currents have to balance. At this node, the currents have to balance. At this node, currents have to balance. That's my 5 equations, 5 unknowns. So doing that, here's your first equation. Here's the second equation, v plus equals v minus. Third equation at node 1, current left, current down, current right equals 0. That's 3. At Vp, current left plus current down equals 0. Fourth equation, and V minus, current left plus current right equals 0, 5. And note that again, I do not write the node equation at y because I don't know what this current is. I can't write the node equation if one of the currents is unknown. 5 equations, 5 unknowns. This is where I would use MATLAB. Input the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, put in, solve. Here's the voltages. Another way to solve it is try to figure it out. This is a little bit trickier. I know at this point, looking at this circuit, this is a non-inverting amplifier. So Y is 2 times Vp. This is Vp. I know from voltage division, Vp is R1 over R1 plus R2 times V1. Solving backwards, I know what V1 is. I can do the current node at V1. These have to balance. Substituting, a lot of work, you wind up with this is the answer. Not quite as easy to solve this one by inspection, but can be done. Third way to solve, throw it in Circuit Lab. Build the circuit. This is 50 radians per second, meaning 7.95 hertz. Apply an input, measure the voltages in Circuit Lab, and what you get is, here's the magnitude of the voltages in Circuit Lab, here's the magnitude in MATLAB. So take the voltages that you found up here, find the magnitude, and they should match up. And sure enough, they basically match up. A little bit of rounding error, but that checks out. If Circuit Lab matches your calculations, you probably did it right. One more example. If I have this circuit, find the voltages X, V1, V2, V3, and Y. Again, the first step is if X is 3 sine of 50t, represent everything in terms of phasors. So X becomes 0 minus J3. Omega is 50, so this is 1 over j omega c minus j200k, 1 over j omega c minus 100j minus j100k. So there's your phasor representation. If I want to do voltage nodes, I have a couple equations. X equals 0 minus j3, that's one equation. V2 equals V3, that's two equations. V3 equals Y, that's three equations. I need two more equations. The other two equations are at V1, current left, current right, current up equals 0. That's this one. And at V2, current left plus current down equals 0. That's this equation. Gives me 5 equations, 5 unknowns. Grouping the terms, throwing it into MATLAB, solving. Here's what I get for the voltages. Again, same thing we did at ECE, only now using complex numbers. If I want to try to solve by inspection, I know that this is Y, this is Y, this is Y. By voltage division, I know that V1 is R1 over R1 plus R2 times Y. I can find V1 in terms of Y. Then I can write the node equation at V1, current left, right, up equals 0. Plugging in numbers, I wind up with this for Y. And a couple ways to solve. Personally, I would use n equations and unknowns. Once you have MATLAB, the trick is set up the equations right, then MATLAB can solve. If this is a test and you're not allowed to use MATLAB, you can do tricks like this and find the answer. Not that easy, can be done. Third approach is check your answers in Circuit Lab. Build the circuit, find the voltages, do an ECE time domain simulation, let it run for a couple simulations, pull out the peak voltage. That should match the calculations. So here's the peak voltage in Circuit Lab. Here's what we calculated. Take these voltages, find the magnitude, and they pretty much match up. And kind of a sidelight, back over here, I get V plus equals V minus. I should have V2. V2 equals V3. That's one of my constraints for an ideal op amp. In Circuit Lab, they won't be exactly the same, but close. In Circuit Lab, the op amp has a gain of about 100,000. Finite gain means there has to be finite difference to hold the output. It'll be small difference, but non-zero. So, not too surprisingly, phasors work with op amp circuits just as well. You use the same procedures we use with DC circuits, only now with complex numbers. The math is a little bit uglier since you're using complex numbers, but if you can handle complex numbers, it's not a big deal. MATLAB, for example, handles complex numbers just fine. HP calculators handle complex numbers just fine. So as long as you're using MATLAB or HP calculators, AC is about the same as DC. A second thing to note is Circuit Lab is really useful. If you want to check your answers, you don't need Chegg, you don't need ChatGPT. Put your circuit into Circuit Lab. It'll tell you what the voltages should be. In Lab, including Circuit Lab, polar form is actually easier to see. In polar form, I have an amplitude at an angle. The angle tells you the delay. There is information there. The magnitude tells you the peak. So that's kind of what I use. In Circuit Lab, I use polar form. The peak voltage in Circuit Lab should match the magnitude that you calculate. And that is lecture number 28 for ECE 211, Op Amp circuits with phasors.